I was going to do the summon video today, but I was like, man, I got to get this out first. And that's going to be part 2 of Fate. And this is pretty exciting because there's 2 characters that I feel like a lot of people have been looking out for, right? You have the brand new Khloe and the brand new Shirou. But man, after looking over both of them, I'm a little torn, especially with Shirou. But let's talk about Khloe first. Since she is supposed to be cosplaying as Vox, her kit is very similar to that of Vox. As you see, the slots are the physical and support, just like the original Vox. And then as for the kit, we have the art gauge, which 50 arts on the skill is very good. We have the art that's able to give you up to 40% stats up. And this is for any team, not just like fire or whatever. This is everybody in the game can get up to 40% stats up if she's using it during Magia Drive. The true art is actually giving that crit rate and break power. I like how they're still tacking on break power, especially for a unit like Khloe, because that's kind of what she's known for. And then we have the super art, which is able to go into her Magia Drive. And then once she's in Magia Drive, she is going to be able to use her super art again to buff up human and demon allies' physical damage by 250%. As for her abilities, we have one that increases her own super crit rate by 30%. We have crit damage as well and burn res. Also, true weapon gives her more super crit and art gauge. So in total, she's going to be having around 40% super crit, and with a 210,000% modifier, actually not too bad. With the 50% crit damage up passively, she's looking very good in terms of the DPS. Probably not like the highest DPS in the game, but she's definitely not going to be lackluster in that department. The issue is that since she was modeled after Vox, I feel like she's unironically a little bit outdated. Maybe I'm just a little crazy for saying that, but since she was modeled after Vox, she feels a little dated. The real thing that like kind of wins her over here and makes her at least somewhat good is the super crit and the damage up here. But at the same time too, there's so many damage ups in the game, you probably have somebody that can fill this role. My question really is though, like, when do you slot this character into the team necessarily? Are you using her as like a physical damage buffer and a break power up and then the additional stats up? Kind of similar like to OG Vox, because one of the things that made OG Vox very viable in a lot of situations was just spamming his art and making him just a heal bot pretty much for the team. Is this Khloe gonna follow suit in that? Probably so. Either way, we'll have to see once this unit comes out. I feel like this is a unit that I would definitely need to play test a bit and using a bunch of different team comps to kind of see where I would like her, because just thinking off the top of my head, I really can't see anywhere where I would want to use her in every situation. And she's probably not a unit that wants to be used in every situation, but hey, you know, maybe there's a team comp out there that seems pretty cracked. And next we have Shirou. As you guys know, I am a big Shirou fan. Huge Shirou fan. And I was really hoping that they would do this guy justice, but as I was saying on my live stream, I said that I feel like this Shirou is going to be absolute dog water based on his animations. I don't know why, but I just got that vibe from it. It's weird, and maybe I've been playing GS for too long, but something just told me this unit was not going to be that good. And now we got his kit. It's time to see if I was right or not. This is his entire kit here. As you see, he's able to reduce the enemy's attack and crit rate, which I think is the first time I've ever been able to reduce an enemy's crit rate. That it could be very useful in certain boss fights in the game. We have the true art, and that's stacking up physical damage every single time he uses it. On top of that as well, he's getting himself 50 art gauge, which isn't too bad. We have the super art that gives him damage based on how low the enemy's HP is. It's the Jinu effect, you know. And then you also reduce the enemy's physical res by 100%. Just gonna be honest, maybe it's because it's only 100%. I'm just gonna be honest, I feel like this physical res is very low, but maybe it's because of the possibility of hitting 500%, which, as we've seen with Simon and so many others, you're not gonna be hitting this at all most of the time, and by the time you do hit it, the boss is probably going to be gone. But I mean, hey, you know, 100% physical res, I mean, it lasts for 60 seconds, so I guess you can't complain too much there. His abilities seem a little okay too. We got defense ignore, and also he gives all human allies 25% DR. We have the good condition passive, which is giving him art gauge while he's above 80% HP, and he also has executioner, I think this is what it's called, where you get more damage when the enemies are under 30% HP. He also has his true weapon, and his true weapon is giving himself attack up and art gauge up. I personally I don't know about this unit, man. He seems very defensive, and at the same time, he also wants to be kind of very much offensive. It's like a very weird hybrid they did here. Now, the stacking physical damage is definitely not bad whatsoever, but if we look at mono fire, which I would say is where you probably want to use this guy, unless you use him with a mainly human team, which is completely plausible. Mono fire now has Shirou and Reinhardt, which is a pretty cool duo, which would mean that you're looking at a team that maybe consists of Sunraku, Reinhardt, Shirou Emiya, and probably Valentine's Priscilla. That might be pretty good. You have some passive DR, you have some active DR. The only thing you're missing is like a barrier. So I guess if you wanted the barrier, you could maybe throw on the character from Toho, Reimu, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe this is what this character is designed for. It's designed to be used alongside Reimu. Either way though, I think you absolutely go Reinhardt and Shirou in the new Mono Fire team that's currently being formed, I guess Mono Fire Human. With Reinhardt beside him, he's actually going to be able to stack quite a bit of physical damage up for the whole team, surprisingly, because Reinhardt's going to constantly give everybody that 100 arc gauge at the start of each wave, and he's just going to be able to consistently loop into that over and over and over and over again. Not to mention, Reinhardt is a type E Archcenter, so that is another Archcenter for the team. So definitely this Shirou is going to be able to have a unit that is going to want to supply him with all the arts that he wants. But outside of like that little Mono Fire comp, if you just look at like human compositions as a whole, well, I guess there's a few places where you could use this guy, because no matter what, he's going to provide value to human teams, since he does just give them a flat 25% DR. And since this is passive, by the way, this would actually stack with regular Shirou Emiya, being able to give 30% DR from UBW. So just between these two units, going to have 55% DR on the team if you wanted to run a team with both of them, but I don't think you really need to. So yeah, he's definitely going to have some team comps here and there that you can mess around with, and probably that 25% DR is going to be what saves him in team building, because it's like, okay, well, I want a bit more DR, let's throw on Shirou. Not to mention the double defense slots. He might be a defensive powerhouse. It's just, you need a unit that's also probably giving you some type of barrier in most cases. Or if you're not running a barrier unit, then you probably need some kind of healer to help heal back up any damage that you do mitigate with this unit and whoever else is going to be on the team. So unlike the first banner, I feel like this one is definitely more of a toss-up. Both these units seem very solid, but I don't think either one of them are going to be extremely broken like how we saw with Ilya, or I would even argue Miyu from part 1. But I'm kind of okay with that, because since all the firepower is in the first part, and the second part is just kind of more complementary, just very good, solid characters, it makes it to where like you don't feel like you have to go crazy on this banner if you already went crazy on the first one. Of course, if Shirou is like your favorite character, then I guess you kind of do, but not too bad of a banner. I don't think they're terrible. I'm still excited for them to come out onto Grand Summoners Global, and we should be getting this crossover after we get ReZero, which should be soon. Well, I say soon, but like in 20 something days, because that's when Shadow ends. Either way though, thank you all so much for hanging out. It's been Boy P, and last but not least, you guys want to know, don't forget to drink water.